Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well. It's been quiet for the last couple of days. We have entered the international break. Since Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1, it's been a time to just reflect, relax and enjoy what Estevao Willian did for us in the 96th minute against Liverpool. So much so, George has decided to go to the other side of the UAE and enjoy Ras Al Khaimah and the fantastic landscapes and beaches that it has to offer over there. Whereas me, I've come back to familiar surroundings, right? I've come back to the original set, should we say, yeah? The original set. There you are. And it's good to be back for a little bit anyway, international break. Had to be done. But it's been quiet over the last couple of days, and now we've got things to discuss. We are heading into internationals on Shootout, link in the description by the way. There will be some content dropping in the international break, so make sure you guys are subbed over there. And also, make sure you're hitting the first link in the description as well for all of your latest from the Chelsea Megastore. If you do want to go anything, get anything, then you can check out the first link over there. Have a butchers and enjoy. I am told there are offers coming, so keep your eyes peeled on that one too. So yeah, lovely jubbly. So much so, I wanted to try and find, you see what Maresca was wearing again in that Liverpool game? That I'm not gonna lie, I want that entire tracksuit. That the grey jogging bottoms looked fantastic. They looked unreal. Now it doesn't look like they're there yet. They're there in the green that we've got. You know, like the off green sort of colour that we have. It's there in that, but in grey, I don't know if that is that a thing or is that just exclusively for Enzo Maresca? Because if it's a thing, I'll go and get it myself, right? through my own link. So if you want anything, make sure you go and check out the link in the description. Much appreciated. Let's jump into the first piece of news. And I'm starting with this one because I got to show you something. Yeah, I got to show you something. So without further ado, here it is. And then I'll explain. So we got Chelsea are interested in signing Bournemouth forward Antoine Semenyo and are willing to pay around £80 million, right? Now, do you see that source? I don't even know how you say that. Any fichajes or fichajes or fichajes? I have no idea. I don't know. But them lot, yeah? I'm saying this because it's funny and I want you guys to not take this seriously. We're not linked with Semenyo. Forget it. Forget it. But every week I see, right, the player that does something big, like Semenyo's been doing for Bournemouth, and we've spoken about this on Shootout. George's favourite player in the Premier League right now is Semenyo. He keeps mentioning him, and every time he mentions him, Semenyo's scoring goals. Semenyo is playing fantastic right now for Bournemouth. But every single time there's a player that has done something and has taken a headline, them lot decide to put Chelsea and that player together and go, oh, here's a headline. Chelsea are linked with this guy. No, we're not. Why are you lying for? Do you know what I mean? Or why are you just straight up lying? You know, if you're going to lie in terms of creating a rumour, creating a bit of buzz between a player and a club and some links in terms of the transfer market, at least make it believable. At least, you know, this is nowhere near believable. Come on, man. Come on. He scores a few goals after like 4 games in the Premier League season. All of a sudden, he's £80 million and Chelsea are after him. Have a day off. But that's why I wanted to show you that, just to let you guys know. You see that link, right? That source. Whenever you see that, just move on. That's what I'm going to say. Just move on. Because it's never true. You know, sometimes you get people that are like kind of half true and then half not. They get it wrong and then they get some right. These lot always wrong. Always. So it's the first and last time I'm going to talk about them, but I just thought I'd put you guys into the loop. Right. So now that's out of the way. Formalities, should we say. Let's move to someone that's not really playing on formalities. Someone that's playing on talent. Pure and utter talent. Check this out. From Estevao. Estevao, 18, plans to launch a social institute in his hometown in Brazil. It will offer programs free of charge in education, health, sports, etc. It will serve around 3,000 children. This kid just keeps blowing my mind, honestly, man. Forget what we've just read in its context. I want to take a step back and look outside the box. I find it crazy that a kid at 18 years old, who has just arrived in the Premier League, who is looking to try and make a mark and a name for himself, is already thinking of giving back to his hometown and to make things free of charge for 3,000 children, to have all of these resources. At 18, realistically, that shouldn't even cross your mind. But for him, it has. And we know like the type of parents that he's had growing up. We know how in terms of his upbringing as a whole, how well educated he is. But there's being well educated, and then there's being very, very mature for your age. That's another level on top. This guy is moving like a 30-year-old. Do you know what I mean? Already thinking about that sort of thing. He hasn't even gotten started in the Premier League yet. Do you know what I mean? And he's already got these things in his head. I flipping love it. And when I look at, and I'm going to say it because it's the truth, and I think we can all see right now, when you look at the example that Lamine Yamal is setting right now, on the pitch you can all see what type of footballer he is. Absolutely exquisite footballer. Yeah, exquisite. But even him, just getting started. Don't get too big for your boots, son. Don't get too big for your boots, because it can all come crashing down very quickly if you're not careful. Has he got talent? Yes. Does he pull off some things that make you go, how's he done that then? Yes. But just because you've done that a few times doesn't mean all of a sudden everyone owe you something. And Estevao right now, not Estevao, Lamine Yamal off the pitch right now, his lifestyle, and I get it, he's 18. You know, at 18 you can lose your head very easily. But there's no one stopping him. It's clear. I don't blame the kid completely. Of course not. He's 18. He's 18 with unbelievable resources, money that feels flipping, you know, it's unlimited wealth at this point already. At his age, of course, he's going to go on a madness, right? When I say, of course, it's not a must. Now, he's done that, cool, but there's no one around him. There's no one around him stopping him or giving him some guidance or telling him, hey, relax, relax. Everyone can see this guy's going at 300 miles an hour in that direction, and there's only one end to it. You know, everything is in balance and moderation, people. That's something that I really want to share with you. Everything's in balance. You know, you can go and do all that in your younger years and make mistakes and whatnot, but don't be stupid too. You know, don't be dumb. There's experience and then there's dumb. Where you're just going to crash into a wall. Right now, he is heading head first 300 miles an hour into a concrete wall if no one stops him. Estevao, he's already said he's not the guy to go out, you know, in terms of like, you know, partying and going crazy. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that at that age if you just want to, you know, experience life. You know, it's all new to you, fair enough. But again, Estevao's got the people around him to keep him grounded and to let him know in terms of what is best for him. And he's picked it up. His dad's a priest. He's grown up like really, really humble. He's a very family-orientated individual. He's serious. He's got his head down. He works hard. When you got those things at that age, you are on your way to success. Success. And on top of that, we've seen Estevao, he's got the talent that he has. Now, that coupled with his work ethic, which he's already showing, I can't wait for what he's going to look like in 2 years. Can't wait. Can't wait. So, Estevao Willian, thinking on this level already, I just wanted to highlight that because for me, I find that incredible at 18. Already having that process in his head is mind-blowing. We were all 18 once, you know, and we could all think, yeah, give some charity. Yeah, you know, give a couple of quid here, give a couple of quid. This guy's already got a flipping program set out in stone for his hometown. He's already thought of that in terms of his roots, where he grew up, the people that he knows, the kids that are coming through. Like, he's already got this. I find that remarkable. At 18 years old, Estevao, respect to you, my friend. Respect to you. Respect to you. So that's that. Now, I'm going to come back to Estevao later because we've got a certain Caicedo that's spoken about him. But let's talk about the front of shirt sponsor real quick. Yeah. This is a very important thing to discuss now because we've still not got one and we thought we'd have one by now. But there's been a bit of detail coming out from Kieran Maguire. So let's get into it. Here it is. Kieran Maguire says the price that Chelsea have been quoting to sponsors has been one where that everybody else has walked out the door. It's a case of just getting the deal to get both parties. Chelsea fervently believe that having won the Premier League in 2016 and therefore becoming the world champions in 2025, that the value of the club is significantly higher than what would appear to be the case from an advertiser's perspective. This, I've got to be real, that does not make any sense to me. What the hell has the 2016-17 Premier League title got to do with this? Mate, that was an eternity ago. We're talking about wanting to win the Premier League now because it's been so long. You know, like, we're desperate to have a Premier League title again because it's been nearly a decade. So we can't even the team that won that title don't exist anymore. Not one player remains from that team. If I'm not mistaken, was Azpilicueta the last one from that team? And he left, like, when? A couple of seasons ago. Yeah, what are we doing? Whose idea was it to think we could use the 2017 Premier League title as a benchmark for front of shirt sponsor today? That is bonkers. You'd have more success saying that we won the Champions League in 2021. That would be more relevant. So I don't get that. The world champion stuff, absolutely. And why? It's like the same logic that I had at the beginning of the season. Now you've got the World Cup badge coupled with your spot, with your name on the shirt, you know, as our sponsor. That's only going to bring more leverage to you because people are going to want to buy that shirt with the badge and they're going to have your flipping company all over it. That is something that is enough, I reckon, to be able to get it over the line. But it seems like companies are not interested. Now, I've got to be real. I wasn't expecting that, but what we're hearing being quoted at the moment is about what, 60 mil? I thought that's fair. Personally, I thought that was fair. We see what Man City have in terms of Etihad. We see what Arsenal have in terms of Emirates. Those are big money deals. And with obviously Champions League football, now this season we've got Champions League football, it would be a time to be able to get in. Now, I don't know, maybe if companies are looking and going, yeah, but are you going to get Champions League again? Is this just a one season thing, or are we going to get less exposure from next season just in case you don't make it? Maybe there's things there that we don't know. So look, if that is the case, Chelsea need to just not hesitate. If it's not as easy as it seemed like it would be, at least for us in terms of the outside, because we don't know we don't even know who the club are talking to. We've only heard things about Riyadh Air, maybe Qatar Airways, maybe. We don't even know if that's legit. We don't know. If 60 million is too much and it's attracting no one, well, you have to bring your price down. I'd rather take 50 and have 50 over the next 5-6 years than have nothing. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea seem like they're hell-bent on being able to attract a sponsor that's going to come with big money for the long term. Now, if companies are unsure of Chelsea, for example, making Champions League football again, well, why don't you just accept, I'll give an example, accept what Damac were putting on the table for a year again. Let's do 1 year at 40 million. Even 30. It's better than nothing. Get Champions League again and then ask for 60. And maybe companies at that point would be interested, but at least we don't leave ourselves without anything. Right now, we've already headed into the second international break and we don't have a front of shirt sponsor. That is not good enough for a club right now that isn't generating enough revenue. We already know the whole stadium issue, and by the way, we're still hearing nothing on the stadium. What's going on with the stadium? Because the more that it gets close to December, you can all wave goodbye to Earls Court. December is the time. December is when redevelopment will begin at Earls Court. We got to act quick. We don't even have a plan agreed in terms of what we want to do internally, or what we want to do internally with not just the CST, but the Chelsea pitch owners, the CPO. Nothing's been agreed. All these things need to get a move on. If not, we're just going to be stuck. And all of that in turn means less revenue, which means only having to rely on one source of revenue, which is selling players in order to buy later, and selling players for higher money that we bought them for initially in order to get profit in that way. That's all we can do. And that's not going to be sustainable. That's just not going to be sustainable. That's a temporary fix like we've seen for the past summer, great, but you can't do that every single year at that level. It just doesn't work. So I would honestly look to accept a front of shirt sponsor just ASAP. ASAP. Get something through the door, even if it's for one season. And if it's clubs being unsure on whether we're going to make Champions League again, well, let's go and get Champions League again. You know? And then get something long term. But we can't leave ourselves, high and dry again. So that's that. Let me know your thoughts. What would you do? What would you want to see? I'm curious to see what do you think in terms of a front of shirt sponsor. Do you agree with my assessment and what I say I would personally do? Do you have any other ideas or any other solution? Let me know down below. Much appreciated. Now, I'm going to show you this. You guys are going to laugh. Let's show you the current situation of Chelsea's defence. Yeah? Check this out. So, we've got Reece James with an injury now, but again, it seems like it's nothing serious into October, right? We've got Cole Palmer, groin issue. Back after the international break. Tosin, calf injury, back in October. Fofana, concussion, back in October. Badiashile picked up a knock in the last game. Hopefully he's okay, back in October. Josh Achempong picked the same thing, picked up a knock, back in October. Andre Santos, back in October. Liam Delap, hamstring injury, back in 2026. Esugo, 2026. Levi Colwell, see you next season, mate. This is unbelievable. To have this many players all out in one go, especially at the back, is absolutely outrageous. Now, I'm showing you this because it seems like by the time we get to after the international break, we're going to have quite a few guys back. Let's just hope we don't have any recurring injuries here, because that is one hell of a list. And this is why it baffled me. How the hell did we beat Liverpool in the way that we did? When you're on the front foot and you don't give the opponent something, when you give them something to think about, and you don't allow them to come at you because you're piling so much pressure on them, and you turn your attack into the best form of defence, that's all we can do right now, and we did it. That's what I've been asking for. And we ended the game with Reece James and Hato as our centre-backs, and we got the job done and scored the winner. I mean, that's unbelievable. We ended up with 4 fullbacks on the pitch to finish that game as our back line, and we won. It's mad, but it goes to show what we can actually do when we do things correctly. So let's see who's going to be back and who isn't, but Maresca needs to pay attention. I'll give you an example. Badiashile shocked me in that Liverpool game. And I didn't give him his flowers in the review enough because I was already preoccupied with the other things that went down in that game. But I want to do it here. Badiashile was unreal in that game. Flipping Paolo Maldini, regen. Ridiculous. And I say that lightly. But you get the gist. Unbelievable. He was perfect. He was perfect. That's the performance I want to see from Badiashile week in, week out. And then he came off, unfortunately. One of the best players on the pitch. If that's going to be the case in terms of how we have our centre-backs play, we're great. So it's all about consistency. It's all about now game after game after game after game and building that run. And then we go from there. Let's just hope we don't make any naive mistakes, any stupidities, any head losses, Maresca experimenting too much, getting in his own head, panicking. If we just avert all of these and we just do what we've done lately, then great. So let's see. Let's see. Let me know your thoughts on that backline. Caicedo has spoken. Let's hear what Caicedo's got to say. On Estevao, he says, you can see on the pitch, or even in training, he's so good. He's showing his quality. We've tried to help him because the Premier League is so different to Brazil. And yeah, he's making an impact here. We are so happy with him. I'm going to say this again. He is ready. And even for people that say, but he makes a couple of mistakes, what do you expect? He's 18. That's fine. But he has much more impact to help the team and get the team to win than compared to a couple of mistakes here and there, which is going to happen basically with anybody. You can't expect 10 out of 10 performances from him every single week. We have to be realistic here as well, guys. You know, it's like expecting Chelsea to win every game. It's not going to happen. We are going to lose games. That's fine. It just depends how and how much, you know. But we need more wins and we need draws and losses combined. That normally gets you a very good position in the league or wanting to win it. So you got to be fair, you know, to be objective. Don't be stupid or over demanding, where it just becomes this is impossible. You know, getting a player to play 10 out of 10 every game is impossible. So don't ask for it. Do you know what I mean? Estevao is going to make a couple of errors here and there. That's fine, but it doesn't mean he shouldn't play. Because of those couple of little errors, we need to put him on the bench and he doesn't play because he's 18, we got to take our time. No, the impact that he has already and what he contributes is better than what anyone else can do right now, especially in a moment in need where in an attacking sense we need to go and score. Estevao comes on and it's just flipping lights on. Everyone's like, oh my God, what is he going to do? It's the unpredictability. It gives us another angle here. It gives us another option. We need to utilize him. Unlike a normal 18-year-old where you can take your time, but with this kid, no, he's ready. Play him. He can play. Listen, we talk about development and how these sort of players need minutes. Flipping out, he needs 90 every game. He needs 90 every game. He is ready to play. So if we want to see Estevao hit the highest level, play him every single game because he can hack it and he can do it and he's ready. And on top of that, we are picking players like Pedro Neto, for example, who was at the Club World Cup, who has a lot of mileage in them, who needs a little break from time to time. Estevao is right there. Now, I'm not saying bench Pedro Neto because he's one of our best winners. But at the same time, what we're looking at Garnacho, we're looking at Gittins, who played well, by the way, against Liverpool. That baffled me as well. But and again, with Gittins, you see, it's the type of game that suits him. That's exactly what I meant when we signed him, you know. When you have spaces in to run behind or you're driving at someone and you've got space to run into, Gittins is super quick, he can do that. But if it's a low block and he's coming to have to dribble between loads of guys, he can't do it. But anyway, that's a story for a different day. But with Garnacho, we still need to see. Estevao is there as an assurance, man. You play him, he's going to give you something. And look, he has proven off the bench time and time again, and this one against Liverpool has made it clear to Maresca that I need to play. So what Caicedo is saying here, absolutely spot on. Now, let's see what else Caicedo has had to say. He says, it's too early to say we're going to win the league. For sure, we want to win the Premier League. We will take it step by step because it is tough, but we are going to do our best. Now, it's not ideal, yeah? When you hear players talking about, like this, for example, that, you know, we want to win it, but it's too early, you know. Of course, we don't like to hear that. I think this season, though, we got a little bit of a reality check in terms of where are we? Yeah, where are we? We have the team, but we don't have the consistency yet. And to win the Premier League, you need consistency. Now, mathematically, it's all open again because Liverpool have lost 3 in a row. Well, 2 in a row in the league. Things are tighter now. We're there. But do we expect to fall based on the defence that we have? Yes. Can Maresca fix things? Yes. Is that going to happen? Let's wait and see. We don't know. And this is the thing. The question mark is the whole thing here of we don't know what's really going to happen. I expect us to do well at the minimum. My opinion on going to win the league was based on, you see the way we played against Liverpool and how we got that done and how Maresca was proactive in that game. I expected that basically after the PSG game because he'd done it against PSG. I expected it. Okay, we go into the new season. We now got the blueprint. We know what to do. Run with it. And then we just fumbled. We fumbled a lot of games. It's just not enough, right? It's not enough. And if this is how you're going to be throughout the entirety of the season, then you cannot really expect to win the Premier League, but I guess you can come close. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see how it's going to go down. But Caicedo, I see where he's coming from here, but I don't want it to be a thing either of fans getting in their own heads or people even at the club getting in their own heads going, you know what, we're not ready. Let's give it another year. And then the year comes, oh, you know what, we're still early. Give it another, and then it just never happens. Like, no. We need to go and win the Premier League title. We were just talking about this earlier on. It's been nearly a decade. So we need this to end, right? We need to go and win the title. At least before Arsenal anyway, because that would be liquidation for Arsenal, and that's exactly what we want. Anyway, what else has Caicedo said? Here it is. I'm far from N'Golo Kante or Makelele in what they did here. They achieved a lot, but I'm going to keep working because I want to become a legend here. Respect to him. Respect for that, man. Respect, because Caicedo, the path that he's on right now, this is what I had a thing on Shootout with George about this. We spoke about this, but he reckons that Caicedo is already basically there in that conversation. For me, I'm like, no, you can't do that yet because he's just getting started, but he's on that path. He's on the same path that Makelele, that Essien, that Kante, all of these guys walked when they started. Caicedo's on the same path. Yeah, it's the same. Does that mean he's going to finish in the same way these guys finished? Don't know. If he continues down this path, yes, 100%. But he's not there yet. The others have finished. We need Caicedo to finish. Or at least to have maybe a few seasons under our belt for us to go, nah, you're a legend. Like, you know when we used to have players where they're currently playing and we know, yeah, he's a club legend. It's just, it's there, it's standard. He needs to go down that path. He's on there at the moment. Is he going to get to the finish line? I reckon he should, to be honest. I don't see any reason not to. But let's see. I love the ambition though. I love the ambition, and Caicedo right now is absolutely killing it. I heard what Jamie Carragher had to say. I'm not going to take the bait. I'm not going to mention because there's no need to take the bait. He just doesn't want to really be honest with Chelsea Football Club, really. He wants to try and, maybe like camouflage things into another, he spoke about Declan Rice. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. I'm like, mate, what are you saying? Have you seen the two players or are you blind? I don't know. Anyway, he doesn't want to divert from his original opinion, and that's not healthy. If you're wrong, say it. It's fine. It's fine. And go, you know what? He shocked me. I wasn't expecting that. But Caicedo right now, best midfielder in the league. Would he say that though? Don't know. Anyway, now, Reece James, the update for him in terms of the injury. Reece James's injury is not the cut on his leg. However, it's not serious, and his withdrawal from England is viewed as precautionary. So I'm glad. There's been a lot of players that, Estevao included, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's been a lot of players that have not gone to international duty. I don't know what teams we're going to see play for their countries, but it's not going to be the teams that we're expecting, because many players just have not gone. Their clubs have retained them and going, you're not going anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. You're not going anywhere, mate. So I don't know. We'll see. But Reece James not going, fantastic. All these players, let them rest. Let's see what happens. Now, let me know your thoughts down below on all of that. Let's move to a couple of other clubs before we wrap up. Arsenal. Big news coming out of them, and it's an example. Chelsea, pay attention. I don't normally say that about Arsenal. Chelsea, pay attention. So exclusive. Arsenal exploring options to increase capacity beyond 70,000 as 20th anniversary for move from Highbury approaches. And this is where they might move to Wembley in order to expand the Emirates. Can you imagine expanding the Emirates? And they can do that. If you've been to the Emirates, you'd know the space that's there. It's flipping tons of space. They can do what they want. They could build a 100,000 seat stadium there if they wanted to. Not a problem. Just obviously that's expensive. But that is the correct thing to do. Arsenal expanding. You see, now we're after a 60,000 ground. Them lot are already there and trying to get to 70 now. Soon 80. Maybe they can go higher. Everton, the stadium that they've built. United have plans to build a new Trafford. What are we going to do? We're losing money here. It's money being lost. We talk about revenue, match day revenue. This is a big difference. You pocket yourselves an extra 25 to 50% of match day revenue just by expanding. That's massive. Over the course of a year, that's insane money. So we have to come to a solution about Stamford Bridge and see what's going on. If it means expanding Stamford Bridge, great, I'm cool for that, but we need to make a decision. Let's go. Hurry up. We need to move. So let's see what's going to happen. But Arsenal are looking to expand on their anniversary, and it means that the work that's going to be done, if it does get approved, means that they might move to Wembley, which obviously is not far for them. That's okay. That's not the end of the world. Unlike Chelsea, which kind of would be. It's too far. But that's that. Arsenal, new stadium, let's see what happens. United, to end, here is Ruben Amorim, and I got to say, I thought he'd get sacked this international break if he'd lose to Sunderland. He didn't lose to Sunderland. But what did that game mean? Well, here it is. Manchester United have won just 6 matches in the Premier League in the last 8 months, and all of those wins have been against 10 men or against teams who have been promoted or relegated. So, Ipswich, who got relegated, Leicester, who got relegated, Aston Villa were down to 10 men, Burnley, who got promoted, Chelsea, who were down to 10 men, and Sunderland, who got promoted. I can't believe we lost to United and beat Liverpool in the way that we did. This is the history of the Chelsea, isn't it? We're just crazy like this. Heart Attack FC, Charity FC, all sorts, Hand 3 points to United on a plate and then go and smash up the champions in the way that we did, properly. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But Man United, Amorim, his record's only against teams that have a disadvantage. I say disadvantage. Promoted, relegated, or they're down to 10. Man United under Amorim have not beaten a non-promoted or relegated team or team that hasn't gone down to 10 men. Incredible. I have nothing else to speak. I have nothing else to say. I don't think Amorim is going to last. I don't think he's going to last. The writing's on the wall, and you heard it here first. I would say that it's going to be a matter of maybe, because he got the win against Sunderland, the international break is going to be with Amorim in charge. Give it another month, 2 months, and there'll be enough bad results for United to go, you know what, we can't go on. We can't go on. That's my prediction. So what's yours? Let me know down below. Much appreciated. Subscribe, notification bell on. Check out the links in the description. Like I said, get your Chelsea merch. First link in the description. Subscribe to Shootout as well. Second link in the description. Subscribe over here. Much appreciated. And I'll see all of you tomorrow for a new one If there's loads going on, we'll see. Then maybe 2. But make sure you're here. Much appreciated. Catch you then. Look after yourselves. Take care. And peace.